Therapy, Arby, let's be having you. Let's be having you. How we doing? It's that time again, people. It's that time again, Therapy Army. It's here we go with the bargain hunts, innit? Bargain FC. Here we go, here we go. Bargain FC. Here we go, here we go. We got a jam-packed show for you today, people. Let's get into it. Let's get into it. How are we feeling, Therapy Army? Morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are in the world, people. Wherever you are in the world. So let's be having you, Therapy Army. Big up, Stephanie. Couldn't agree more, Nuruddin. Rabiot, he says, Rabiot is the answer that the question is stupid. If Rabiot is the answer, then the question is stupid. Big up, Google this. Juve play with a midfield six. It's the same thing that happened. People think Pogba was good. Some systems make certain players look better than what they are. There you go. We're going to be getting into that. We're going to be doing a bit of scouting report. So don't you? I welcome that Google this. I like it's like taking a fish and asking it to be faster on land as well. Wow, he's going in. Our board of directors should be sacked if we're really considering this. Wow, kicks off big time. Big up to man like Google this. He's absolutely not holding back. Yes, Google this. Avram Joel F off. There we go. Passer sites. Yes, man. Big up Jonathan Berg. Big up everyone. Like the video as much as you come in. Yeah, smash a like on the video. Some of you are absolutely disgraced in terms of the way you don't smash that like on that video. So big up to everybody. Big up to Khalis Ramadeen Lassie, my brother, my king, chief editor United Real Therapy. Big up, love and light, bro. Always love. Big up to our Sophia Talks Football. People need to go and check out one of the most hardworking YouTubers out there in the game, man. Honestly, make sure you go and check her watch along out. Make sure you go and check her YouTube out, man. Show some love and respect to the sister. Love, light always, sis. Big up to you. Big up, Sophia. There you go. Big up, man. Big up to everybody who's in here now. 40 of you in here already before it's 2 minutes. So smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. We're on the road to 10K. Seriously, I really want to get to 10K as soon as we can because, you know, it's betterment for the community. And liking the video helps to get the algorithms up so more people can see and more people can see that the type of community that we have. There's our Tom. He's having it. Is it our Tom? Tom, talk to me about Sonny Sheffield. Are you having it or what?
We're having it out. Come on.
Sunny Sheffield today, yeah? Don't tell me it's raining.
No, it's sunny. It is sunny. We can't be too down about it. It is a bit sunny, so.
Big up to you, man. Big up to you,
yeah,
Tom.
Big up.
Big up to you. I'm glad that you're enjoying a bit of sunny Monday in those 7 hills. Big up Arian, big up Nuruddin. Do you catch the pictures of Avram and the Qataris who telling London properly means nothing? But yeah, listen, I didn't see any of the Qataris. Did you see any Qataris in London? I didn't see any of them. I don't know what that photo's saying. Tom, did you see photos with the Qataris and the Glazers? By the way, I've changed my mind. We're going to come into it, but I don't think they're going anywhere, by the way. I've changed my mind, honestly. I don't think they're going anywhere. And just by telling by the internet, Old Trafford, that's the biggest clue. Biggest clues that they put internet at Old Trafford. They're not leaving, man. The suckers are not leaving. But big up to you, Tom. Big up to Saeed. Listen, 230 Straight Jacket podcast. We've just done that full house tonight. Brian, Aaron, myself, Saeed. Lots of topics we covered. Go and check it out in there. But big up to you, Saeed. Big up to Tom. Love and light, people. And yeah, when you go and watch that video, can you go and smash a like on that video as well, please? Because that Straight Jacket army there, they were a bit. They don't like smashing any likes. You know what they are? They're shy. They're shy. They don't smash me. They're a bit shy. They don't like smashing a like on a video. They're a bit shy. That's all over, mate. Because a lot of people say to me, I'm not signed up to YouTube. That's why I can't like the video. I'm like, well, sign up to YouTube then. Sign up to bloody YouTube then.
It's free, man. Free to sign up. Free to sign up.
Free sign up. Big up Alien Tenno, man. Big up to everybody. But anyway, let's start. Seriously, let's start. Listen, Saeed, he's already kicked off. Somebody's gone in already. If Rabiot's the answer, then the question is stupid. And then he goes on to say, Juve play in a midfield 6. It's the same thing made people think Pogba was good. some systems make certain players look better than the way they are. 100%, I agree with that. System sometimes can make players better than that.
Yep.
It's like taking a fish and asking it to be fast on land as well. Our board of directors should be sacked if we're really considering this. So, Saeed, I'll go with you. Adrian Rabiot, are you having him or what?
Nah, not for me. Even on a free, man. I can't lie to you guys.
Bargain FC. Here we go. Bargain FC. That's what we are. We're Bargain FC, by the way. But go ahead, Saeed.
Yeah, I think the package that comes with it is high wages. I get it, 100%. People can say it's not my money, but it sets a precedent within the squad. You create a bit of disharmony. You know, when you see players like that, maybe on a higher wage, you got to deal with his agent. We've dealt with certain agents in the past. You know, rest in peace to them as well. You know, so I just think for me, it's not a great signing. It doesn't really give me a bit of like direction. I'm just looking at United now, thinking, any signing we get right now, is it better than what City have got? Is it going to compete with the best? Because now I'm looking at most midfields in the Premier League now. Is Rabiot better than Caicedo? No. Is Rabiot better than maybe, I don't know, McAllister? No, I don't think so. You know, you're looking at certain players are in there. Pascal Gross. You're looking at Aston Villa. You're looking at everyone's getting good midfielders now, man. Like, if you're getting Rabiot, for me, I just think for me, it's just one of them. It stinks of desperation. It stinks of going back to what, again, didn't work last season. People can say it's a free, but I just think it's a precedent. You're setting a precedent here. You're setting a situation of, I've seen this before. You've seen this with Sabitzer. You've seen this with Donny van der Beek. I've seen this sort of midfielders, and it never works, man. But if you go and get me quality, I know it works. Casemiro's coming, quality. You know, Caicedo comes in, you know it's quality. Even if you say Declan Rice, yes, there has to be a squad, and it has to be, you can't always have players who are on big money and whatnot, and a squad is that. But I just think for me, man, yeah, but the top clubs don't have that as well. Like Frank Kessie, if you told me Frank Kessie on a free, that changes everything, because I know he's a quality player. Rabiot, I don't know, man. I just think for me, 28, 29 now, have we seen the best of him? I think we have. I don't think he's going to give us anything that's any different. I'm just not with it, man. I'm just kind of tired of these signings. Like, people can say to me, and this is what's pissing me off, is that all the toxic, positive people, yeah, are now coming at me saying, oh, what are you moaning at now? I'm like, have you not seen this type of signings every year? Have you not seen them? Tom has seen them. Nurin has seen them. I think most of the chat have seen these kind of signings. And have they worked? No. Ultimately, when we come in here next season, be like, oh, we need new midfielders. We need this. We need that. We need new midfielders. But we've just got Rabiot, and he's on a free, but he's got a 3-year contract or 4-year contract. We've got to keep him. If it doesn't work out, you've got to keep him. You'd rather go and get quality and know you've got something there for so many seasons to come. I just don't know if it's the next step that United need is Rabiot. I just don't think it's the next step we need. I really don't.
Right. Like, listen, big up. This is Andrea Pilo says, this is what he said about him. He said, he's a complete player. I've rarely seen someone so strong, both physically and technically. Who managed he managed him at Juventus, innit? He doesn't even know the potential for improvement he can have, and the work and we work on the mental side of things to make him understand that he's the champion. So I'm like, listen, so you already need to work on the mental, so he's mentally a bit fragile. Like, we don't need that at Manchester United. We've already got bottle job after bottle job after bottle job. Tom, what do you think to that? Where Andrea Pirlo saying that he's physically and technically really strong. What do you say to that?
I think it's BS.
Tactically, yeah. Technically, he said, he's a complete player. I have rarely seen someone so strong, both physically and technically.
I think, personally, me, I just think it's BS. I don't buy it for a second. I mean, if you're this great of a player and everything like that, Juventus would be doing everything and, going out on an arm and a leg to keep you. And you wouldn't even be hearing things about a free transfer. And in the same way that a lot of clubs right now are chasing midfielders, Arsenal need one or two midfielders. Chelsea are chasing midfielders that they're going to probably lose out in the summer when they let people go for free or are running down the contracts. Liverpool need midfielders. Like, a lot of the top teams in our competition and our league need midfield at this point in time. And if he's that brilliant and that great, Why ain't he getting linked to a Liverpool, for example? Why ain't he getting linked to a Chelsea or an Arsenal, of whom those teams have a stable ownership in place? They know what funds they have. They know what they can offer him as a contract. Obviously, he's a free transfer, but like I said, even as a free, I'm not buying it. I'm really not buying it, because at the end of the day, you've got to bring him in for the sake of what you had, where you've then got to give him ridiculous wages. He's at the age that he's at. I just don't think he's the profile that we need as a midfielder, whether it be free or not. Like, we're not shopping at home bargains and Poundland. Like, we need to be shopping at the big boy leagues if you want to get anywhere. Like, Real Madrid for the last probably the last 2 windows now, 3 windows, I brought in 3 of probably the most youngest midfielders that you can buy in world football.
Yeah.
In being Camavinga, who, he plays left back or whatever, but we can say he's a midfielder because that's where he preferably plays. They're going to sign Jude probably, and they already signed Tchouaméni. Man United, mate, we already got a free transfer in Eriksen last season. Like, I don't see the profiling of why we were chasing Adrien Rabiot for what. He's a ball carrier, this, that, the other. But listen, people can say the problems with his mother and all, the Jack Norrie stories, if you want to call it that. Listen, we've dealt with ego, agents and stuff over the years, so that doesn't bother me. If a player's worth doing a major deal with, you do it. Like, for example, Pep Guardiola and Mino Raiola never got on as manager and agent, but they still crossed the I's and dot the T's, and they signed Erling Haaland, did they not? So it can be done.
You know the best question to do it, Tom? Sorry to cut you off. Is if we missed out on him right now, would any of you be asked? That's the easiest way to look at it.
There you go. No, you wouldn't.
Well, there you go, and that's all you need to know.
That's the thing, as well, say though. Even if you put him into another team, I wouldn't be fearful. You see Adrien Rabiot's name on the team sheet. It doesn't give me shivers. Like, if I'm Casemiro or I'm like Bruno Fernandes, if I'm any of them midfield players, mate, I'm not shaking in my boots. Like, I wouldn't be fearful of anything. And look, if you think about it, right, if he does leave Juventus, he's left 2 top European teams in PSG and Juventus, both for free, who never gave him contract extensions. If you're that good, you don't get released from 2 clubs. And that being 2 big European clubs in their own leagues. We know Juventus are big in Italy, and we know PSG are the biggest in France. You don't get released from 2 big teams if you're a half decent player, or as Andre Pirlo wants to call him, basically his twin brother. Like, it doesn't happen at the end of the day. But the way that it's going, with how we're having with the sale and the sort of circulation around that, it wouldn't surprise me if we start shopping in these markets, because these are the only deals that you can do at this moment in time. And we can all sit in here in hindsight and laugh and everything, but this is all that we can do. Even Sabitzer, mate, 15 million euros, 10 million pounds. You're scraping at the barrel to even sign him if you wanted him instead of Rabiot. So either way, Sabitzer or Rabiot, like, there ain't really a conclusion. And if that's the only midfielder we bring in, I think there's going to be a lot of disappointment when you have, like, what De Zerbi did, for example. De Zerbi's already, like, at Brighton, he's already comes to terms with the facts of that he's going to lose either one or both of his midfielders in Caicedo and McAllister. McAllister's looking more likely to go to Liverpool anyway. But anyway, like, you need to drop some bags on some players. People are talking to agents already. Man United, mate, he ain't got a clue what we're doing. Like, and you can forget the ownership talk and everything like that. Even John Murtough, like, does this guy not have people, like, agents' phone numbers? Like, I don't know what he's doing. Like, he made this whole charade around that Man United are targeting a number 9. I've not heard him. I've not heard him contact an agent. I've not heard that he's even he's even spoken to a club official at somewhere else, whether it be Daniel Levy or the Napoli president for Osimhen, whoever, Sesko with Red Bull. Like, he's not spoken to anybody. You're nearing the end of the month. You're basically at the end of the season by the end of this year. And what are we doing? We're pissing around waiting for a takeover that may or may not come. Like, it's ridiculous. And like we say with players like Rabiot, mate, they ain't Man United level. That's just how I see them anyway. If you ain't Man United level, you ain't going to come to the Premier League anywhere at all.
So, okay, I'm going to go back to this question and I'll stay with you, Tom. But what about if Ten Hag likes him? If Ten Hag scouted him? And anyway, let me just say this about one thing. So he's a third-side left-footed midfield player. He played more as a number 6 deeper role, but he can play both as a single pivot and also as a double pivot, like 4-3-3 or a double pivot in a 4-2-3-1. It's more advanced central midfield position is usually like 4-4-2. That's what he plays. He's got long legs, but the biggest thing for me about him is that his assist record and goal scoring record are nowhere to be seen. They're not up there.
He's not that sort of player. He's more, like I said, box to box, but also can ball carry. He's not a creative midfielder. He's more that can sit and also can drive forward when we need to with it.
It's like his ball carrying skills are really good, but can he do it in the Premier League?
Again, that's a different kettle of fish. I don't think in the Premier League and this.
I don't think week in, week out. Like, for example, with the amount of games that we've played, do you think even when I think about it now in hindsight, like even if he does come to Man United, I don't even think he's guaranteed to start. I really don't. I don't think Eriksen would get dropped for Rabiot. I don't, just because of how he knows the league already and he's played here before. Rabiot, like, I don't understand the philosophy behind it, because if he was this sought-after midfielder, he would have already been gone. Everybody knows he's on a free transfer now. Like, he'd have been gone already off the market. Somebody had put some, like Brighton. They've already signed like 3 players nearly already, like João Pedro, James Milner. I think they've signed the other one on a free transfer. Like Dahoud. Like they've signed players already. Free transfer agreements. Man United, we pissed about all summer trying to get Eriksen. I like that took nearly 4 weeks for a free transfer that didn't need to be made that big of a mess of a meal of. But overall, like we say, are these players really Manchester United level at the age, at the profile that they are? And like Nuruddin just said, if there's a little twitch in his head where when the going gets tough and he can't hack it, you ain't coming anywhere near Man United. Because I'm sick to death of assigning players who have weak mentalities or don't have a mindset where, do you know what? We're 3-0 down, but fuck it, let's just throw the kitchen sink at it. I'm going to put my body on the line.
Facts.
I'm gonna, if I need to, I'm gonna stud some people. I'm gonna get the crowd up. I'm gonna cause a reaction. I don't think he's that sort of player. And for me, if there's a market out there for players like Rabiot, like, he'd be in the Premier League already if he was that kind of player. But he's not, is he? And I just think, for me anyway, it sums it up. When you get released on a free transfer from 2 clubs, regardless of your wage demands, if you're that good, a club would pay over the odds of wages to keep you. But he's not, is he? And the reason why he's not is because he's not the profile of what Manchester United need. And if he was, if you like, Man United level, then he'd be Liverpool level. He'd be Chelsea level. He'd be Arsenal level. A lot of teams in the Premier League would go for him if he was that brilliant of a footballer and that sought after. But he's not.
Also, we're at the start of what we need to do. Maybe at Man City could work a free transfer because they have less to kind of experiment and whatnot. They can have made it forward. But what we're doing right now, we need like you know, I just don't see the idea of what we're trying to do. Like, it's not chronological order.
We need long term.
Start off with the main guys first, and then sort out the free transfers after. But what you're trying to do is you set a precedent of starting cheap, and all of a sudden, you know, when you need to actually properly invest, like, you know, do what you need to do, it's like we're way off and we don't get the midfielders we need to do. That's what we did with De Jong. The manager wanted De Jong. Casemiro should never have been here, really. He wanted Rabiot, and that was it. So the summer, when you look at it, it's all over the place. It's 1 minute it's Rabiot, then it's De Jong, then it's Casemiro, and then it's Eriksen at the end. So it's like, it's very, very much a case of all over the place. And I just want us to have a structured way of doing it, if you know what I mean. Have a structured way of doing it, and we'll get somewhere. But like I said, with this ownership situation, it's very, very peak, guys. It really is, man. Like, you know, we're how many weeks away from the season ending? 3 weeks max.
3.
You know, and we're not hearing anything from the ownership situation. And that's why, for me, you're going to hear these rumours maybe of Rabiot, free transfers here and there.
100% bargain FC. Bargain FC. Let me get this super chat. Big up Sim Gunner. Hi all. Hope you all doing well, Nuruddin Saeed. What can I take? What can I take? Positive Arsenal fan. I think I've been. No, listen, Sim, you're always super humble, man. Big up for the super chat,
Yeah.
brother. I think,
Come on.
listen, you are a rare for an Arsenal fan. But just think about it. At the beginning of the season, if somebody said to you, you're going to be top of the league for majority of the season, and you're going to have the type of season that you had, I think you should have won another trophy. I know you went out to Manchester City in the FA Cup. You know, I mean, you got Brighton in the League Cup, but at the end of the day, you put your eggs in one basket. You didn't have to squad. The biggest things that you didn't have to squad, just like us, we didn't have to squad. And at the end, the burnout caught up with you. I noticed maybe 5 games ago, Saka's not been the same guy. That's the way he was maybe 4 months ago, 5 months ago.
Yeah.
He's not been the same guy.
He's been
a burnout. What's happened to your football clubs? Burnout because you don't have the strength and the depth and the quality to be competing with a team like Manchester City, they have, 18, 19 players who are almost like world-class players. Yeah. Any of them can be in a world-class bracket of a player. And they have that type of manager and they have the relentlessness. So at the end of the day, I'm glad that you didn't get giddy. You didn't get over too excited because football is a long season, mate. It's a long season. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. And unfortunately, your team ran out of gas. But if I would have said to you, man, listen, you be the main challengers at the beginning of the season to Manchester City, you would have bit my hand off. So that's what that's what you can take some hope with that. If you guys go and get maybe more, if you guys go and get maybe 4 or 5 players in the spine, I always said you needed a centre half. I think you're going to need another central midfielder. I think you might need somebody to replace Saka on that side to give Saka a breathing space for some games. You need definitely a striker. That's what you need. So you need to be through the spine. You need a good spine. And that's what we're looking for at Manchester United. That's what we're talking about Rabiot.
You need the spine as well.
Big up Alien Tenor says he'll be like a rabbit in the headlights.
That's a good one. He's on form today. He's on form today.
Yeah, big up to you. He's on fire, mate. He's on fire. He's on fire, man. Big up to you. Go and see. We've got another super chat here. Who's starring all the super chats, man? The super chats.
No. What happens is it's now it leaves it for you there, so it's automatic now. It starts.
Brilliant. Yeah, big up. Sasaba Hussein, thank you so much for the super chat. Nuruddin, for those who accuse Qatar of all the vile things, would rather have the Glazers. Please tell them about the Glazers' lifelong association with the Rothschilds and their role in in war crimes. Yeah, it's there, innit? It's there to be. It's there for everybody.
A couple of Qatar flags, though. I seen a couple of Qatar flags in the stadium. You know, I mean, big up to the guys there. You know, I mean, I don't know if they warmed. Was their reception okay, Northern, where you were sitting?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've seen the Qatar flags, man. I've been seeing Qatar flags there for ages, for a long time, man. Yeah. Listen, so I talked to him about this Kim Min-jae thing. You watched that,
bro? Quality player, man. We need him, man. He's very, very aggressive.
You know, if somebody else is gonna snap him up, Saeed, if Man United are not already on the P's and Q's on the business.
That's what I'm saying.
Is there anybody credible linking us to him that you've seen?
Not, I don't think it's anybody credible. That's the problem. It's Italian journalists who are making up stories saying basically, because Napoli have won the league now, he might want to move on and whatnot. We've not heard anyone credible, anyone like maybe a Di Marzio or someone maybe of that kind of ilk. But other than that, like, you know, I think if we're gonna deal with that guy De Laurentiis, we're gonna have to deal with it early. Italian, he wants to keep most of his players. They want to be more better next season. They want to win the Serie A again. Because I think for me, apart from maybe Inter Milan, who I think are scoring goals in front. Yeah. Juventus, I'm not sure. You know, their squad is still.
They're going to fall apart. Have they been points deducted? Have they had the points deducted?
No, it's overturned now. It's been overturned.
No, it's overturned. Yeah.
Okay.
Overturned. So they're playing Champions League, and also Rabiot's playing the Champions League next season. I don't know if he's going to want to go United anyway. So if we don't make it, that's when we need to make it anyway. So I think for me, ultimately, with Kim Min-jae, it's going to have to be quick because his release cost is 40 million. But I think Liverpool will be in for him. I think United will be in for him. I think there'll be top clubs around the world will be in for him. You got to be quick.
We need him. We need him. You know what? I'm not going to lie to you. Park was in the stadium the other day.
Yeah, he was.
Decent Park.
Why come we not using him? How come we not using Park to get these deals done? Isn't Kim Min-jae a Korean? Yeah, South Korean.
South Korean.
South Korean.
Why are we not using him? What the F is wrong with this fucking football club?
You know why?
What is wrong with them?
Because he's got to eat his little prawn sandwiches and that, and speak to the fans in the sofa suite. He's got to be in the sofa suite, Nuruddin. he's got to be. He's got to be giving the pies out and giving a talk about 2011 final. That's why. That's why though, Nuruddin. He's not allowed down there, man. He's not allowed to do. And also, but then again, if we get Jassim,
Hey, let me say something now. Let me say to you. If you are Manchester United, why are you not making use of players like Sonji Park, who knows everything about the next upcoming young Korea players? Why are we not using him to sign the best Korean players? What's the whole point,
Nuruddin, they do this though. Ex-players do put record, like Ollie put bloody Erling Haaland forward when he was 18 years old for £4 million, and they didn't listen to him.
Yeah, you don't remember that, Nuruddin?
Like,
4 million for Haaland.
So it does happen where you have ex-players who will put people forward in place. Like, for example, Michael Carrick had sung the praises about young Jacob Ramsey, for example, at Aston Villa, who's a brilliant young sort of midfielder up and coming. It sung the praises about so many young English midfielders that he'd worked with when he was doing his coaching badges with the England under-21s team. You had the likes of Jacob Ramsey, you had Morgan Gibbs-White, like when they were a lot younger, obviously, a profile of players. But Manchester United never listened to them in terms of getting these players. So,
yeah,
and this is the problem. We can say for what it is about not listening to ex-players or whatever. Like, I can understand why, because if they don't have any proper footballing qualification, but even some of our best scouts, they say go for these players like Kim Min-jae, because you know something, right? Even if you're in Richard Arnold's position as the CEO, from a commercial point of view, it makes sense. You don't have any Asian players in your team right now. So from a commercial point of view, to get a South Korean player, which the only, like, I guess the world-renowned sort of South Asian or the Asian sort of market of players is the likes of Kim Min-jae, your Heung-min Sons, those kind of profile of players. Because you don't get in, because those sort of players come once in a while when they actually have a new development or a new batch of players who come through. Because Manchester United don't look at the markets and they don't think, oh, suddenly you buy Kim Min-jae, you open up a whole market in South Korea that you might not have even had before. Or you can make more money commercially. And suddenly, a lot of say that when you have like car manufacturers and stuff nowadays, a lot of the parts that they use to manufacture cars and stuff, they actually come out of Korea. For those people that don't know, anyway, for example. But when you get some of those, you can get sponsorship deals. Like when Man United used to have the was it Chevrolet with the sponsorship?
Chevrolet, yeah.
You get better deals. Like, I don't know, you might have Man United sponsored by Mercedes-Benz or something. Like, listen, you can get profiles of deals done, and you might look at a player and think, well, a player, we can improve your team, but even off the field, he'll bring you a lot more like supporters, worldwide fan base, because he goes back there and you look at players, especially say from that sort of region like South Korea, where they have maybe one or two great players. Like Tottenham Hotspur, they went on like an Asian. Did they go on like an Asian pre-season tour? I think Son, he went home to Seoul, didn't he? I think it's the capital of South Korea.
Seoul in Korea.
He went back there, mate. There were millions of them waiting outside the airport for him. Millions of fans. And do you know how many doors? Like, do you know how many, like, the Korean population, the Asian population that you see now going to Tottenham games just because of that one profile of player? Like, it's a madness. But Man United, we don't capitalize on these things. And look, we can say for what it is about Kim Min-jae, but look at it from this point of view. If he wants to come to Manchester United, then all I'm going to say with Kim Min-jae is he's going to have to wait, because he ain't going to be coming in the first couple of weeks of this window. What all this media talk around the Italian journalists, from what I would think anyway, it might be as simple as they've agreed terms with him on a contract. Man United have agreed terms with players all the time on contracts. It doesn't mean they sign them in the end. Like, for people who don't know, Man United had agreed contract terms with Jadon Sancho on 3 different occasions, and he only happened to come on the 3rd time that they'd agreed it. And over the years, it meant that he got more money than what he was getting 2 or 3 attempts before. So in Kim Min-jae's case, you might put the negotiations and you might get the right terms on the table, but until you actually strive a deal out, what's the point? There isn't a point in this. But even when, like, and I know people talk about the reports and everything, like, You've had players like Martinez who have been here 1 year. You want to give him an increase on wages after he's been here not barely even 12 months? What for? The guy's pretty much out for the rest of the season. Like, there's no point. He's not going anywhere, is he, though? That's the thing I'm trying to say.
No, he's not. No, he's not. Listen, big up, Tom. Let me just get this. Saeed and Tom, both look at this. Big up Khalees from any last for this.
Big up Khalees.
Leicester are going down, yeah. We know that Leicester are going down, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not get it too twisted.
They're playing tonight. They could get relegated tonight, or at least get maybe relegated tonight.
Are we playing tonight?
Yeah. So to me,
Liverpool.
no.
Oh,
listen, no to Yuri Tillemans. I don't want him anywhere. He moves like
no.
I'm faster than him. So he's got 1 year left on his contract.
So
you're going for Madison, is that the player that you're getting?
We should have got him in lockdown.
Is that the player you're going for?
No, I'm not getting him.
No, I thought you loved him.
Nah, man, I'm done, man. The last 2 years have made me realise he's rubbish, man. The only player I'd get out of that team is James Maddison, who I think is a quality player, and maybe Harvey Barnes. But other than that, no, I don't think Harvey Barnes is even on there, is he?
He's not even.
No,
He's
not
not. No, he's not, no.
Only Maddison. Maddison for me would be straight into this.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Sorry, I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about Maddison.
Oh, sorry, Maddison. Yeah, of course, Maddison. Are you mad? Of course, mate. Get Maddison. I think Newcastle. I think he's destined for Newcastle, Maddison.
Yeah,
being honest with you.
I'd agree with that side. I think
we're gonna need. Listen, we're gonna need. Listen, I need. We're gonna have to build the squad, guys. I need like for likes. I don't want Bruno to be shattered. He's gonna have to take time on the bench, have time out, mate. But do you think he's good enough at number 10 to affect games, Saeed? Yeah, you really think?
I think for me, he's excellent. Madison is a quality player. I think you know what it is. I think you need that in a squad when things are not going well in certain games, or you know how Man United could be playing it with Bruno Fernandes. Sometimes Bruno Fernandes in a top 6 game has been poor. We know that. Away from home, Bruno Fernandes does not perform. So who do you bring in? You bring in James Maddison. It's similar way when Alex Ferguson used to bring in Jason Park or let's say Darren Fletcher on the right hand side. You have a manager who knows when to put people in. Look at Gundogan yesterday. Imagine Gundogan, and we missed out on him, by the way, in 2015, I think it was, or something like that. Missed out on Gundogan. Yeah. So it's.
You see that goal? You see that goal?
Yeah.
That first goal against Everton.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying to you, bro. He's a different type of player, man. He's a player that could easily walk into any top 6 team.
Yeah.
But I think ultimately, it just comes down to, for me, like, if you want to go and get him, go and get him. If you're being serious about something, go and do it. And I don't want Eriksen being the backup to Bruno. I'm sorry, man. It's not going to work. Eriksen's legs are gone. Like, and we need quality, man. I just look at this Pep Guardiola. I can admit he's an amazing manager. I can admit Man City are a force. But if you go buy like for like players and you have depth, I'm telling you right now, United could go somewhere next season. But if you don't have any of them, forget it. You might as well just, if you're sticking with Fred and McTominay and that's your backups next season, Martial as backup, like, it's not going to work, man. It's not. You know, the players are, and Martial, you've seen it on the weekend. He's done, man. Look at his, he can't even run anymore, bro. That's very, very sad to see. The guy was falling on the floor all day and he lost his power, man. The legs have lost the power.
No,
it's quite sad.
Honestly, with players like Martial, though, like, at the end of the day, the way I look at them is, I just think they're a bag of nerves. I just think they've been through the war. They've been through the wars at a football club. You can see it. It happens over time. You have a player who overstays his welcome at a football club, gets a little bit happy and thinking that he's always got a place like he did when Ollie was here, for example. Yeah. Because he was the only sought after number 9 we had, apart from long terms like, short terms like, Cavani and Ronaldo. Like, apart from that, it derailed the whole plot. Man United have never had that number 9, and we did have that in the boots of it in someone like a Mason Greenwood, but obviously situations change and things happen. But the only marketing that we can look at it from Man United's point of view is the way that we're getting linked with a lot of these players that we are in the windows. Like, I'm not filled with confidence, really, to be honest with you, because I don't believe half of these are even Ten Hag's recommendations at all, because I don't honestly think Erik Ten Hag sticks on, with his analysts or his video technicians or whatever, when he's scouting the market for the best sort of players and put a short list of players that he recommends to the board. I don't believe he is seriously putting players like Adrian Rabiot's name on a short list to go and get as a player. I don't see it. Yeah, you can say a free bit of cheapo. No, what does cheap in the market? What are we now? What back to Solid Bricks and there's no value in the market? Like,
Yeah.
how many clubs are chasing? Do you know the funny thing is though, right? The longer this takeover saga and shite goes on, right? Man United are not going to have any midfielders to actually sign at all anyway. But the problem with us is we have nostalgia. We have passion towards certain players. Oh, Fred, we paid so much money for him in the market that we did. Oh, you'd be looking to get 20 million for him. Like, the market is gone for these players. McTominay, like, what is the sought after thing around Scott McTominay, mate? He's not even English. Like,
listen, it's a youth player. That's what it is.
You make out. Listen. No. Listen, they make out as if he were born in St. Busby. Why the amount of times these people keep him here? Like, he's not even
He's
English.
been injured as well, man. Why? How's he become injury prone all of a sudden this season? Like, anyone talking about that?
There's 170 of you in here. 170, and smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Big up our Jarvis. Big up the king of the north of Norway, mate. Jarvis Gokka, aka Rick Astley. Never gonna let you go. Never gonna let. Yeah, man. There we go.
That's like
Rick Astley. We're not messing about. Yeah, Zidane is of Iraqi and Pakistani heritage.
Yeah, South Asian.
Iraqi and Pakistani. Asian, yeah. So big up to him. Listen, I'm gonna go to this to say we're in for another horrendous season next season, guys. I think next season we're gonna be struggling to finish in the top 5. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. If what I'm hearing is right. I mean, you heard big up to Khalees Romeri Lassie. When you hear Erik ten Hag talking about and saying that he basically is giving his list players that want to come to Manchester. It's really interesting. I was thinking, is that a bit of PR? Because I remember certain Ole Gunnar Solskjaer saying, yeah, loads of players want to come to Manchester United. I'm like, because the way, listen.
I know what you mean.
Listen,
but that's maybe the club telling him. Clubs maybe telling him that. Maybe.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say, because they heard they heard him in the embargo section, part 2 of the Brighton before the Brighton press conference, where he went in a little bit like Ralph Ranić, where he went full on Ralph. He went on Ralph.
Apparently,
you know what I mean. He had that bit of Ralph energy in the press conference, yeah. And then all of a sudden, for him to come back, and for him to come out and say, "Oh, loads of players want to come to Manchester United," and how he's done most of his plans, and he's up to the. He still put it on them. He still said, "Listen, the players that want to come, and I've got my plans. I made to play the players that I want. It's all about the club now and the higher ups to sort out the finances for these players." So, what does that tell you, Saeed, when he's saying that?
I think ultimately, you know what it is for me? It's like, obviously he wants to keep positivity in here. He wants standard. It's a bit conflicting what he's saying, because obviously he wants to keep David De Gea. He wants to keep certain other players. Obviously he has to say that for the cameras and whatnot. But I think, you know what, he's got a PR coming in his brain. He's got the spokesman for United saying, you got to say this, you know. He's got to come out and make sure he's got everything under control. I think there's a lot of conflict in the situation. He wants to be him. Like, what Ten Hag really is, and a lot of people don't mention it yet. He is very animated on the touchline. Like, I never seen Ten Hag so animated on the touchline. There was no tomorrow. Like, he is that sort of manager. Yes, he gives us that kind of approach that he doesn't really give anything away. You looked at it when he was with Garnacho, very, very humble, very, very caring. So he is a very, very you know, not say emotional manager, but he has got emotions. And I think ultimately right now, he must be so sick and tired of this club in terms of how have they not got this sorted. They've had, what, since December? November? When did it get leaked out that Man United was selling? Was it around November, wasn't it? When the World Cup was on?
Well, they made the announcement, was it a week or two before the World Cup, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, November. It was mid to late November, yeah.
Yeah.
So you got to remember that was then. And we're here now. In what's the time now? Like, it's crazy, bro. And that's why I feel like with him, he's animated, he's agitated. He needs to get this top 4, by the way. He needs this break, man. I ain't gonna lie to you guys, man. The fan base is ready to explode, you know, if they don't get this top 4. He needs this top 4. He needs a break. I think he's had a long season. I think everyone's had a long season. He just needs to kind of look at the club in the summer, assess it, and bring in quality, man. He doesn't want to be here like micromanaging players every week. He doesn't want to be here kind of like, taking off players when they don't need to be taken off. Like, he wants players to play 90 minutes. Like them Man City players, yeah. Okay, Pep's make subs, but most of them are fit for 90 minutes.
No,
we're
I don't buy.
We're only fit
that.
for apart from Bruno, and then maybe some other players. Like not some of them are always knackered by the 60th minute.
Can you remember in that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer season where we lost 2-0 to them and they absolutely took the piss out of us, right? Manchester United made 5 substitutions. Do you know how many Pep made in that game? And you know how big the Old Trafford pitch is, don't you?
Yeah.
How many substitutions did he make? And he had a Champions League game as well. The last, what was it, like 2 days later or 3 days later, he had a Champions League game to take. When they went, I can't remember who they played in Europe. They went and they'd got to plane, travel, everything. Mate, made 0 substitutions, 0 substitutions. And he's got all those, as we say with Manchester City, they've got all those 100 million. They've got £100 million player on the bench. Or 1 week a player can score a hat trick, mate, and he's sitting on the bench. Do you want us to think Man United, if a player ever scored a hat trick for Man United, that they'd be sitting on the bench? It wouldn't happen, would it? It wouldn't happen, would it?
Yeah. Big up Saeed, man. Make sure you go and check it out. People go and check out Saeed TV, 230th Straight Jacket podcast. So go and check out Full House today. Big up Jarvis. Big up to everybody. I just don't see it, man. Honestly, Tom, I'm not going to lie to you. I just don't see it. I just see Manchester United for players still being fatigued till next season. I see that if you don't get 5 or 6 players or even more, 6 players at least to freshen up, and at least 4 of them, 5 of them being really starters, then I just can't see it, because I don't think Liverpool are going to stop. I think Chelsea are going to go again. I think everybody's going to go again. Yeah, honestly. I appreciate Richard. Big up to Jarvis. Love and light to Jarvis, man. Jarvis, let me know if you're free. I'll send you the link for the last 15 minutes. I'd love to hear some of your point of views. I think Erik ten Hag is looking. To Scandinavian countries. Probably looking at South America. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, can we get 100? Can we get at least 100 likes on this video? Big up to our Windy Grant. Remember, a few managers wanted to move Martial and the Glazers into Tfin. I thought it was just really silly rumours, but Athletic confirmed that story. Yeah. Well, to be fair, it was mainly Jose at that time. And to be fair, at that time, he was playing really good. We need a medical team, and the amount of injuries is insane. 100%. Big up to our Sophie again. Yeah, 100%. That definitely.
You know what, though, Nurdin? Just as a thought about it, then though, when we criticise the medical staff, right? Can we really criticise them though? Because the technology that we're behind, like, with City and Liverpool, like these clubs who have brilliant training grounds and facilities, like, and we know how like up to date they are with sports science and stuff. Like, Man United, we don't have that, do we? Let's be honest, we don't. So can we really blame them in terms of like when they misjudge a recovery of a player, or they misjudge like the science behind it, or like what repairs or what movements you need to do to make sure you facilitate recovery, right? Like, what do you think to that?
No, 100%. Like, 100%. Like, I agree with you, Tom. I just think, well, just every aspect of a club is sham, innit? Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Right.
The wallpaper's coming down, lads. That's what.
Honestly, it's a sham, and people are getting giddy, Tom. Tom, I'm not gonna lie to you. Having seen the Wi-Fi, I thought, the Glazers are staying because they put a Wi-Fi on. Like, all these years, we had no effing Wi-Fi, and now all of a sudden, Man United have got Wi-Fi. What the hell is that about? But anyway, let me just say this. Obviously, big up, by the way, and commiserations to our women's team. Chelsea, I've invested in their women's team, and I've been the top dog in this country for a long time. Long time. It's no shame in losing to them. So commiseration to our women's team. I thought you played a fantastic game at Wembley, and we're fortunate to lose. Obviously, losing an FA Cup final, it hurts and it's disappointing. But I genuinely hope and pray that Arsenal can get points of Chelsea, because Chelsea are still in the Champions League as well. And I hope that Arsenal can take points of them. And I hope that gives Manchester United women's team a chance of winning the league. So everything crossed for the league, and if they do the league, it'll be remarkable. It'll be one of the best things, honestly, happen to any Manchester United team, because less than 4 years ago, it didn't even exist anyway. So it is what it is. Yeah, McTominay, I definitely agree. I think McTominay will be sold in the summer. Well, let's hope he is sold. But I say this, Tom, with you, like, obviously, the absolute donut that is Avram is in the hotel, and people are putting 2 and 2 together and coming up with 100 just because he's in a hotel that he might have booked, and it happens to be Sheikh Jazim's dad's hotel, apparently.
Yeah.
Everybody's getting a bit too giddy and a bit excited, but what are you thinking?
Is there for an FA Cup? Do you know the hypocritical thing is, right? Whenever Avram Glazer, just him personally, whenever he's spoken about Manchester United, do you know what all he's ever spoken about, Nurdin? The men's team. That's all he's ever spoken about at this club. I've hardly heard him ever mention about, well, we want to invest in all of our teams, and we want to invest in the facilities or anything like that. Like, he never goes that far, does he? To say that we're investing in all areas of the club or something like that. He never does that. Like, and then he has the hypocrisy to go to a Wembley final with our women's team. Like,
I mean, he refused to fund it. He refused to fund them.
This is what I mean. He has refused to fund it, but he's going to something that they've succeeded in with fuck all to actually improve with.
And we've lost, you know what? We've lost like super talented players because of them and the way they treated Stoney Casey.
Casey Stoney, yeah. Well,
it's incredible.
But the only thing is, women's football is getting more popular now, and suddenly you're going to get to the stages of where women players are going for millions of pounds. It's going to happen at some stage. Like, it's going to be broken. I think with Arsenal, they made a major offer for like Russo, didn't they? I think in January, and the Man United turned it down towards the end because I think he refused to let go, didn't he? I can't remember, but like, when you put into, I can understand when people put 2 and 2 together. Like, you see Avram Glazer in Mayfair in London, stays at one of the hotels, regardless if it's by Sheikh Yassim's father or not. But Mayfair's, Mayfair is pretty much built upon Qatari money. Like, it's literally built upon it. Like, hotels, restaurants, bars, offices, development lands. Like, Qatar fund all of it in Mayfair, pretty much. Like, Man United's new headquarter offices that had moved. I think, did they move to Mayfair? I think they have, on the headquarters in London. Or they'd moved the office space into there. Like, when they'd actually moved the space into there, and people are putting 2 and 2 together and thinking, oh, well, it's Qatari private-owned land and obviously the other. We know what sort of projects they invest in and they move the money into. But just because you stayed in a hotel, like, what would people have said if they stayed in a B&B or something? Well, I don't know, we'll go Airbnb or something, like. You see Avram Glazer walk out of a Premier Inn or something, like, what are people going to think they're doing?
Exactly, 100%.
He's gonna stay luxury, isn't he? Come on, he's in Mayfair, man. He's living it up.
Yeah,
listen, getting driven around as if he's some 1980s gangster or something, like. Behave.
Listen, I agree with Khalis Romarilasi. Manchester United need number 10, 8, 6, centre back, right back, goalkeeper. How many more? We need 15 new players. Jarvis,
we need it all.
There's a bit of a frenzy on Twitter, Jarvis, about Sheikh Jazim is Avram no pony, baldy pony head staying in Sheikh Jazim's father's hotel. What do you make of that?
Yeah. Hi, big up everybody in the chat and the panel and Nuruddin and Tom.
How are you anyway? It's so rude of me. How are you, brother?
No problem, Nuruddin.
It's sunny in northern Norway today. Yeah. How's the family? Family good?
Yeah, family good, and the weather is beautiful. It's our first day of summer today. It's 20 degrees outside. The sun is shining. I've been outside doing some gardening and really enjoying myself. So the winter is finally over.
Winter is finally over. Summer is here. Summer is here. Summer is here. Big up to Jarvis. Go ahead, Jarvis.
Yeah. No, I saw that tweet about the hotel in London and stuff like that. But who knows what it means? Maybe it's happening. Maybe it's not. But I have some sources that telling me that it's going to happen, and there's an agreement going on. But who knows? No one knows because it's NDAs. So it's maybe just false rumors planted.
Yeah. Well, we're talking about Rabiot. What do you think about Rabiot as a player, Jarvis?
Yeah,
let me hit you with this. Right, this is what Pirlo says Pirlo was a brilliant player of his day, on Andrea Pirlo, and Andrea Pirlo thinks that he is technically and physically complete. He reckons, and it's mainly about his mentality. Big up Windy. I think they're only playing for 2 games. I think the Nations. I think they're only playing for 2 games, if I'm not mistaken. But go ahead. Big up somebody who will let us know. But go ahead. What do you think about him on a free? And it's L'Équipe. To be fair, L'Équipe are quite respectable sports outlet, and they're reporting that Erik ten Hag has already spoken to him. So what do you think about that story?
The strangest thing with rumors, if they blossom up again because there was something last season and now it's coming up again, there's probably something in it. So, and Rabiot, he's a French international. He's been playing on a high level for many years. It's maybe something wrong with his attitude. His mother was his agent, not anymore. He's known as a troublemaker. So
his mom's not his agent anymore. No,
I don't think so. Someone told me that, but I'm not sure. He's known as a troublemaker. But Ten Hag, he takes no prisoners. I think if Rabiot and Ten Hag gets along, it can work well. And we need a backup for Casemiro anyway. So Rabiot, it's a decent shout. Not my first choice, but we're such in need of a second DM, because we can't play with McTominay and Fred anymore. They need to go. So I'll take Rabiot if he's on a free. He definitely worth it if he can stay in line and not make any trouble.
Yeah. It's very interesting because I think that aspect of him obviously I don't think you can get Frankie de Jong, Tom. But his ball carrying abilities is quite good. But can he do it in the Premier League? Can he do it when you got so many people coming in at you, so many people like hounding you, setting traps for you? That's going to be the question, isn't it, Tom?
I don't know what he's like though. I've not watched. To be fair, I've not watched him enough to pass a lot of judgment. But obviously, when you watch the French national squad for the World Cup, he was pretty decent. I must admit in saying that. But in hindsight, if France would have had a lot of their players, because I know they went there without a lot of the main squad, like they went without Pogba and certain profile players who had won the World Cup with them. Like I don't know if Rabiot still would have found a way into the team or a spot, but like even in saying all of this, like the only problem I have is if every single midfielder had been snapped up already and we desperately need a midfielder, then I could understand why you would go for something like that. But when there's so many talented midfielders who are on the market at this moment in time, Caicedo, McAllister, love them or hate them, people, like the two good players at Brighton, who De Zerbe's already basically said are leaving. So you can get a good deal when a club's prepared to sell, because you don't always get that where a club is prepared to sell some of their best players. Even Southampton, people say it about Lavia and stuff. Like the clubs are getting relegated. We just said it, about with Saeed, like James Maddison as well. If Leicester get relegated, like there's deals to be done there. It depends what sort of midfielder player you want. Rabiot's more of your ball carrying number 6, number 8 sort of role. I mean, the only problem that I have with him is he doesn't contribute enough to the team in terms of the goals or even assists. And for me, even as a deep lane, midfielder, even Casemiro, like he come to Man United and he wasn't the most prolific goal scorer or brilliant at assisting, but people didn't know that he could, pull off a 50-yard over the top lateral ball pass. Like people didn't know that he had that in his locker. The only problem I have is if you take players like Rabiot and you put him in the team and you go away to Anfield away, or you go to an Ellen Road, like somewhere where the atmosphere can swallow you up, like, and you put him in a high pressure situation where he's getting pressed, he's getting kicked at, like, I don't know if he's that sort of character that has that bit of a. He's happy to have a bit of a war with players. You say it all the time anyway that Nuruddin, about like Martinez, for example. Like I don't know if he's that sort of player that has that bit of a fire in his belly, or like I say, if the going gets tough, he's 3-0 down. Is he the sort of player that's just going to down tools on you and he's not going to give two shites? Like if he's getting paid the wages that he is, like that's my only concern anyway. If he wanted to come on reduced wages, like, what's the problem really? I don't really see too bad in it, but we've got to see anyway. But
yeah, can I just shoot in on Rabiot? He has 8 goals in Serie A, 2 in Champions League, and 1 in Europa League this season, and 4 assists.
How many
so
games
he contributes a lot.
How many has he played altogether?
But that's in that system. But that's in that system where they play with almost 6 midfield players, don't they? They play that very much heavy top midfield players. But for me, he's got legs. Definitely, he's got legs. But can he have the legs in the Premier League? You know what? We already talked about the Glazers. People are getting excited about this. I don't think they're leaving because the biggest sign for me is that it might be stupid, but it's that the Man United have got Wi-Fi all of a sudden. So it could be that. But listen, I need to go and jump on Devil in the Details show. But big up to every one of you. Thank you so much, Jarvis, for jumping on. Big up to Tom and big up to Saeed TV as well. Big up to make sure you go and follow Tom Journalist 1. And make sure you go and check out Jarvis as well. He's always on Man UFC Realist TV.
Yes.
And his followers there is at Bowley77. And Tom Journalist 1 on Twitter for you who want to follow Tom. Those of you who want to follow me, I'm on here. But big up to
I can just promote my channel. Tomorrow we are doing a show about Sancho. What happened to Sancho? So everybody tune in. We will be probably live after the Champions League game. Me and Mick.
Okay, brilliant. There you go. So Sancho, the Jadon Sancho thing. The only thing that I would say to contribute to that show, if I'm around, I might jump on. But I'll say it, Jarvis, is that some players have had 8 years. I'm willing to give him 1 more season. One more.
You're free to join tomorrow. I can send you the link if you like.
No worries. Big up. But if I can't, I'm just letting you know just that we need to be objective in that. But big up to everybody. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Win, lose, or draw. Glazers out. Bankers out. Make sure you go and check out Sophie Talks Football, man. Make sure you go and check her channel out, people. And make sure you go and check out Saeed TV across all social media. Love and light. Tom, Journalist 1. That guy, Red Devil, me. Take care. Lots of love. Big up. Peace. Love, light. Bankers out. Glazers out. See you later.